Hey, get amped. We're going to do something cool with async await. So what we're going to do is we're going to get information from an API, and then we're going to print out random state parks in California for every time I refresh the browser. Observe. Ain't that cool? So how do we do it? And what is async await all about? So let's go check it out. So in JavaScript, we have one thread of execution. It means it's just going to do, one thing at a time. But we also have this async thing that we can do. It's called async await. So what it does, it says like, hey, we're going to like push this other stuff off to the side and do that and then inject it back in later on. So that's what async is all about. Await means although we have this stuff happening on the side, we can still have things that are dependent on the other. So this would only happen if this happened. This would only happen once this is finished. So that's the idea. So let's take a look at the code. So if we look at an async function, this might look intimidating. Don't get worried. So we have a function, and then we just add async to it. All right. And then await means all this stuff ain't going to happen until this is finished. So that's what await means. And behind the scenes, what is this really? It's really just a set. It's just a promise, right? So this is syntactic sugar, and behind the scenes, it's promises, and await is basically like dot then, right? So if you want to follow along, hop over here. So we're going to go to National Park Service, grab yourself a token, go ahead and sign up, and then maybe take a look at the documentation. And this is the endpoint, and these are the little things that you can query. So you can query, all kinds of stuff, parking lots, parks. So I chose parks. And what parks? Parks in California. You add your API key. And so what's going to happen here? So in this fetch, by the way, I forgot to explain, this try and catch block, by the way, is error handling. So inside this try, it's all the stuff that's going to happen, and if something goes wrong, the catch will catch it, okay? So with that out of the way, so we look at this fetch, we ask the National Park Service, hey, give us this information, and we give it our token. And then what does it do? It returns something. Here I'm doing a little error handling, so if something goes wrong, then we'll catch it, right? So what does it return though? If it is successful? Well, it's actually sort of like gibberish. So if we take a look, that's what we get. But we can't really do anything with that. So we got to translate it. So to translate it, we're going to use this thing called .json. So we want to take that Chinese and convert it to a JavaScript object. And what's it going to return though? So let me show you. It's going to return an object with an array of objects. But what I'm doing here though is I'm saying like, I don't want this object coming back because I want to loop over this thing. So the loop over it's a lot easier working with an array. So what I do is I do this object destructuring so that I basically remove the objects from the side. And I'll just show you real quick here what the array looks like after I've done that. Look at all that stuff. Great, we can use that. So let's get rid of, let's see, where is this? Get rid of that just to make things cleaner. Moving down, okay, we want to create a random number, right? So we want to go through this array and pick out an object with a random number and base it off of the length of the array. So if there's 20 objects in here, we don't want the random number to be higher than that. And that's what this whole thing is doing. So after that's all finished, we got all the pieces. So what we want to do is print out to the console, hey, your random state park is, and what's it going to be? It's going to be data and random number. So it could be like 4. So we go, okay, data in here in this array, and then number 4. So the 4 would be the index, right? So that would actually be the 5th object. And then you pick that object out, and then you say, okay, what's its name? And then you print it out to the screen, and that is it. Enjoy.